Good morning, good morning, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another awareness session of Reconstructing Minds Incorporated in partnership with Positive Lifestyle Management and Project Righteous Endeavor. My name is Chantal Rio, aka Brother Mennonite. Uh, today it's a very important subject I want to talk about. I want to talk about the importance of understanding, and this will be a three-part series in the teachings of the blueprint. Um, I really have come to realize that a lot of us may lack understanding, and in everything in life that we do, there has to be an understanding. If you love someone, there has to be an understanding. If you want to live life, there has to be an understanding on how to live that life, the life that you want to live. If you want to be or exhibit loyalty, you have to have the understanding of service and cooperation, with service being the highest degree of loyalty. If you want to understand knowledge, you have to align yourself with the principles of understanding what it takes to acquire knowledge. And if you exercise wisdom, wisdom can not be properly applied unless you have the knowledge to share. But when it comes to understanding, brothers and sisters, this is the platform for our understanding of all the six principles. All the six universal laws of existence. So today, as I was in my study, I came to understand on how important the concept of understanding is. And I just wanted to share this with you this morning to allow you to see that no matter where we're at in life, we have to have an understanding. We have to have an understanding. Now, if you turn with me in your blueprint on page 96, we're going to begin the first part one of the importance of understanding. Page 96, and it reads as thus. It says, in preparation for the task before us, let us become more aware of the sixth principle, the understanding within us, that we might go on and face the visions of our leadership as those called forth for a purpose. From now on, we must put our understanding in its proper perspective by realizing that understanding is the crowning point of all our principles. And one of the things that really stood out to me was in my study, I came across a scripture in the Bible that really aligns with what I just read in reference to understanding. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7 says this. Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 7 says this. And, it amazed me that, the importance of understanding in each and every aspect of our lives. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7 says, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding. Now, we know that wisdom is the fifth principle. So, in reference to what it was saying, wisdom does what? Gives us the ability to apply knowledge wisely. But as you see, as we read later on in that scripture from the Bible, it talks about, it says, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Get a comprehensive level of what's going on. So as I continue to read in the blueprint, we are going to dig a little deeper into the principle of understanding. It says, we have arrived at the most important part of all our principles and understanding them. Understanding is the most important because only through understanding can we become whole and complete our 360 cycle of educational, economical, political, and social development. So this principle makes us complete and whole. And it allows us to master the four principles, the four initiatives of growth and development. What are the four initiatives of growth and development? Educational, economical, political, and social development. It says, through understanding, we become whole because understanding rejoins us to our first principle, love. What is love? Love is the one creative force of all existence and makes all the principles of our six-pointed star a platform upon which we can firmly stand under the doubtful observation of any intelligent being, especially the powers that be. It says, we must begin to understand the true meaning of the vision and merge our personal ideals with the ideals of our leadership. So the true meaning of the vision allows us to lay aside what we think and become unified and consolidated with the ideals of the leadership. It says the principle is that most of us try to trim the ideals of the vision. It says the problem is that most of us try to trim the ideals of the vision to fit our own personal and selfish wants and desires. In other words, in this particular sentence, is letting us know that we cannot bring our personal selfishness into the vision. There is no big I's or little U's. We come together as a collective. That's what the concept of organization, that's the essence of the concept of organization. Individual growth and collective acceleration of the body as a whole. We move together, unified and consolidated. So in understanding the importance of the 6 principles, we see that it's not about the individual, but it's about the collective. It says, however, through understanding, we learn that we cannot trim the visions of our leadership to it. Whether we must grow and develop to fit the pattern of our leadership's divine visions. In my last awareness session, brothers and sisters, I broke down the concept of vision. Or bringing the vision into its true fruition. Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 2 and 3 was explaining the process of the vision. It says, once the vision is conceived, write it down. I'm paraphrasing. And when it's ready to come to pass, we move according to the vision, according to the, and see what we have to realize, brothers and sisters, about the vision. The vision, according to Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2 and 3, was the simple fact that it says, write it upon the tables. Those tables represent our hearts and our minds. We must understand, in order to live the vision, we must have the vision in our mind and in our hearts. We must, and once we have the vision in our minds and in our hearts, we move accordingly. We do the work. We do the work. And that's the importance. That's the importance of having understanding. It says, whether we must grow and develop to fit the pattern of our leadership's divine visions, it is only through following the teachings of our leadership that will lead us more and more towards a perfect understanding of the new concept. It says we can only do this by awakening to the new understanding of our 6 points. Okay? It says there is within each of us the desire for greater understanding. It is that still voice in the back of our minds that teaches us true love, true life, true loyalty, true knowledge, true wisdom, and true understanding. That still voice, which represents the voice of reasoning, the voice of logic, the spiritual side of a man, according to the teachings of the blueprint, represents our mind. So we must have a clear understanding in order to fit, as it said, fit the pattern of our leadership's divine visions. Now, this still voice reminded me of another story in the Bible in reference to a prophet called Elijah. Elijah. And I just want to tie that in as we continue to go forward. This is coming out of 1 Kings chapter 19, verses 11 through 13. It says, and he said, go forth and stand upon the mount before the Lord, and behold, the Lord passed by, and a great and strong wind rent the mountains and break in pieces the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind, and after the wind an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake, and after the earthquake a fire. But the Lord was not in the fire, and after the fire a still small voice. And it was so, when Elijah heard it, that he wrapped his face in his mantle and went on and stood in the entering in of the cave. And behold, there came a voice unto him and said, what doest thou here, Elijah? But just like when God spoke to Elijah in the Bible, the leadership has spoken to us through their divine visions. And in order to manifest the visions in our lives, we have to align our ideas with the leadership's ideas, and then we'll see the true essence of living the vision. It says, the still voice that warns us of our mistakes before we make them. That still voice that protects us from the complications involved in our undertaking a new concept. When the still voice is listened to, followed, and understood, no mistakes are made, no injustices will befall you, and no love is lost in any situation. By listening to and understanding that still voice within, we will find ourselves seeking the good within us and sharing our newfound worth with a greater community. Therefore, let's understand how to heed to the call of the new concept. Understanding does not come with ignorant outbursts, but as a still small voice. So just as God was speaking to Elijah, the leadership speaks to us by sharing their divine visions with us. But then in the end, this manifestation of the still small voice is our consciousness. And we have to recognize what level of consciousness, or in other words, a synonym for consciousness, represents our awareness. Either you are pre-conscious, you somewhat know, either you're conscious, you know, or either you unconscious and you don't know. So in other words, brothers and sisters, it is just as the young people would say in today's society, we have to level up. We have to level up our consciousness in order to fit our ideals with the ideals of the leadership. It says, if we listen to and trust it, it will teach us all things necessary to our growth and development. then the world will witness that, contrary to public opinion, we have not sunk so low that we do not have the initiative to look up. But what is initiative? According to the August 27th, 1982 letter, it says this, beginning in the first paragraph, the second sentence, it says, we must understand that it is not initiative to represent, nor to stand in a 6-point stance, although each of these have their sentimental and as well as symbolic value. See, a lot of us fail to or lack true understanding is because we are still living in the old concept. We're still living in the old ways of doing things. Notice what it says. It says, and seek a higher understanding of ourselves, an understanding that is important with society in general. In this manner, understanding is not a mental or emotional activity. Rather, it is that level of conduct that will enable us to re-enter mainstream society with the compatible goals of educational, economical, political, and social development instead of our past incompatible goals of gangsterism. And that's what we see going on today in today's society. Some of us still want to live out the incompatible goals of gangsterism. Some of us still want to stand around in a 6-point stance. Some of us still want to throw up signs on social media, taking pictures with guns, you know, flashing your money, demonstrating your illegal activities for the world to see. And those are the things that the master of the vision is talking about. It's time to let go of the incompatible goals of gangsterism. It says, however, before the problem of gangsterism can be solved, we must begin to understand the fact that the answers to our problems cannot be found in carbon copy Al Capone and Frank Nitti. We may be the byproducts of the same environment that produced the gangster era. It is evident by the vast expansion of the penal system nationally that we cannot live carbon copied lives of gangsters. What is gangsterism? Gangsterism is the culture of belonging to organized gangs, criminals, especially involving violence. And that's one of the main issues, brothers and sisters. A lot of us are still portraying roles of gangsterism because we lack understanding. We lack the principle of understanding in our lives, which is the essence. It is the essence of all the 6 principles. And when I utilize the word essence, I'm talking about spirit. It is the very emblem of the 6 principles. It says, rather our approach in society's injustices must become innovative. Innovative meaning new methods, advanced, and original. For this reason, in seeking higher understanding of ourselves, we must remember that although we may not understand the course of stars in the sky, the formula of mathematics, or the many secrets of science, we can understand how to apply these truths and principles in our daily lives. We can understand that we are a part of the universal purpose of mankind, rather than merely carbon copies of a negative social response called gangsterism. Like I just read, going back to the August 27th letter of 1982, it says we must understand that it is not initiative to represent, nor to stand in a 6-point stance. Although each of these have their sentimental as well as symbolic values. But this is the essence of initiative. Initiative is the ardent wish that all goes well with the struggle meaning movement, that every act exhibits one's own contribution to what he believes in and what he stands against. So we must have an understanding that the essence of initiative is one's own contributions to what he believes in and what he stands against. It says we must begin to truly understand the visions of our leadership and the true nature of our struggle meaning movement. This is our responsibility. We must organize and encourage our fellow brothers towards righteous endeavors that do not portray us as gangsters. I want you to read that again. I want you to understand that. And if you have a blueprint, I want you to underline it. It says we must organize and encourage our fellow brothers towards righteous endeavors that does not portray us as gangsters. And that's one of the biggest issues that is still existing amongst some of the brothers and sisters of today. We cannot live carbon copied lives of gangsters. Life is the one creative force of love in action. Life is growth and development towards a particular purpose. And we must ask ourselves each and every day that we are allowed to breathe and wake up with the breath of life in our bodies. What is my purpose? And the only way to find your purpose is that your ideas, that everything that you're thinking about, when you become cognitive of the blueprint, when you become cognitive of the literature, your ideas must fit the ideas of the leadership. And once your ideas fit the ideas of the leadership, then you can understand the essence of the leadership's divine visions. Let us continue to read. It says, our new understanding indicates that we should work at becoming instruments through which creative energies may flow. Therefore, with the acceptance of our new concept, there is also the awakening to a new understanding. Understanding is necessary for true growth and development. and is essential to our living according to righteous endeavors. It is needed in meeting the daily problems of life that arise within us as well as in our relationship to others. Although we sincerely believe that our principles are correct, none of us can live righteously unless we are guided by the proper understanding of our new concept. The proper understanding that is our new concept is a challenge for us to realize our mistakes by admittingly becoming aware of just how we lost hold of ourselves and submitted to gangsterism in the first place. Also, we must decide that we will profit from our past mistakes by allowing them to be the main motivation for our future growth and development. In other words, what they're saying, we must learn from our past mistakes and utilize them as motivation. We must assert ourselves by acknowledging the past mistakes, but also allowing the past mistakes to be our motivation towards a greater day. That's what growth and development is all about. It says, because of our past negative experiences, we should forever count ourselves blessed to have endured. We should be more willing to make ourselves better understood. It is the lessons learned through understanding that strengthens and helps us become better people. Through understanding, we will become living examples of that which we believe. By the mere fact of our existence, we are examples to others. But we are the right examples for the positive growth and development. But are we the right examples for the positive growth and development of our youth? That is the question. That's one of the biggest issues that exists right now today. Are we living examples for the youth? We see what's going on with today. In today's society, the youth are dying. They're killing one another. And a lot of the reasons that the youth are dying on page 97, it is simply because a negative lifestyle produces a negative example for the youth. That's the main problem that's existing. That's why we are in a constant rotation of death, incarceration, and recidivism. Recidivism is going back to criminal lifestyle and criminal behavior. But it says this on page 99, in the bottom paragraph, it says, by the same token, those of us who plug into our new concept will serve as examples of love, life, loyalty, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, which brings about freedom, peace, and joy in our daily lives. This is one of the biggest issues, brothers and sisters. Page 100. Page 100 in the blueprint says this. It says, a perfect example of what can happen when knowledge and wisdom are not in agreement. A purpose an idea can be found in society, many educated fools, wise dope fiends, and intellectual alcoholics. That's what the youth got to look up to today. Educated fools, wise dope fiends, and intellectual alcoholics. Our knowledge and wisdom used harmoniously with the vision is the only sure path to our developing a higher understanding of ourselves. It says the new concept teaches that we must begin to recognize the knowledge and wisdom already within us, understand how we can use our knowledge and wisdom towards the vision, then act based upon our new understanding. Plainly speaking, the quality of our lives will truly be enhanced by the rewards of knowledge and wisdom used in harmony and agreement with the understanding of the visions of our leadership. Knowledge is what? Knowledge is the ability to grow and develop through study, observation, and application. Wisdom does what? It gives us the ability to apply knowledge wisely. Then, and then only when we will see the true manifestation of a new understanding in our lives. And once we understand, have this new understanding, that allows us to live out the visions of our leadership. It says, in reviewing the results of our past conduct, this is on page 101. It says, in reviewing the results of our past conduct, it becomes crystal clear that the time has come for us to put into practice our 6 points of love, life, loyalty, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, so that our communities may witness the righteousness of that which we believe. Now, through the new concept, understanding is saying, we once despised, we must learn to cherish, and the world we formerly cherished must cease to attract us. Only through proper understanding of our new concept can we rise above the confusion in this battle for our lives. That is the true essence of the principle of understanding. That is the true essence of love, life, loyalty, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. True understanding allows us to align our lives with the visions of the leadership. In order to properly assert the vision in our lives, we must align our ideas with the ideas of the leadership. Even the great Apostle Paul in the Bible, he said this. He said, be followers of me as I follow Christ. He believed in the leadership Christ lived. And just like the Apostle Paul believed in the leadership Christ lived, because he believed in his teachings, is the same way for us who truly want to manifest the essence of growth and development in our lives, who truly have accepted the new concept in our lives. We must align ourselves with the ideas and the visions, the divine visions of our leadership. This has been another episode of Reconstructing Minds Incorporated in partnership with Positive Lifestyle Management and Project Righteous Endeavors. My name is Shantario, AKA Brother Midnight. I hope and pray that we will continue to grasp and wake up to a new understanding of what living the vision is all about, and understanding the importance of the sixth principle called understanding. Love, family.